Am I the asshole for asking my roommates to wait before they shower? I, 21 female, moved away from my family 3 years ago to study, and since then I've been living in a flat that my parents own. The flat has 3 bedrooms, so I decided to get roommates so that it wasn't as expensive, and also to have some company, which I find better than living alone. I've had the same roommates for the past 3 years and we very quickly became best friends, but they both left to go study abroad. I looked for new roommates and found these 2 girls that I'll call Mary and Haley. They both moved in about a month ago. We got to know each other and I became good friends with Haley, but not as much with Mary because she's more reserved, so she tends to stay in her room. I have 3 rules for the flat. No loud noises after 11 p.m. on weekdays because we all have school or work. If one of us is not sleeping at home, she tells the others, so that we don't worry, and when someone is showering you have to wait for the end of their shower before you can take one. That's because the plumbing in the flat is old and doesn't work super well, so when 2 people shower at the same time, the person that was showering first gets cold water. And then obviously, keep the place clean, but that doesn't really have to be said. I've had these rules with my previous roommates and everything went well. Mary doesn't really respect the shower rule. Normally, what we do is we scream, shower, before getting in, and then we scream, over, when we're done. But there were a few times when Mary went into the shower before the other person was done. I completely understand that she wasn't really used to the rule as much as I was, so it probably wasn't intentional, and it was really hot, so taking a cold shower wasn't a problem, so I just casually reminded her, but I didn't really say anything. Yesterday, I was coming home from work a bit late and it was raining really hard, so when I got home I went straight to the shower. I really wanted a nice hot shower because I was really cold and tired, but not even 2 minutes after I got in the shower the water turned cold. I had shampoo in my hair, so it wasn't ideal. I got out to see why it was cold and I heard another shower running. It was Mary. I had to wait until she was done to go back in the shower and finally have hot water. Today I sort of confronted her about it and told her that it was kind of annoying and that it would really be better if she followed the rule. She told me that I was controlling and was trying to monitor when they showered and everything they did. I asked Haley if she felt the same way and she said no, and I also don't feel like I try to control anything, or like the rules that I have are unreasonable. Mary left right after the argument and hasn't been responding to our texts. I really want to fix it, but I'm also not sure if I'm in the wrong or not. Sorry if this is not clear. English isn't my first language and the characters are limited, so if you need clarification I'll answer in the comments. Edit, update. Mary came home a while ago and we sat down to talk about the whole thing. She really apologized and listened, and it was honestly great. She told me many things, the first one being that she was in a very bad mood yesterday and this morning for personal reasons, and she apologized for that. She said that she would try to really be a better roommate from now on. We also talked about the rules and what we thought was appropriate, with Haley, and now have a whole system. And lastly, she told me that she was feeling a bit excluded because Haley and I get along really well while she's less social and has been struggling a bit more, so we've really talked and tried to get to know each other. In other words, all's well that ends well, thankfully, and I think I might have even gotten a new friend because of this whole thing. I'd also like to thank everyone who was nice and gave constructive advice. Clearly the answer is to take a shower while she is already in there and let her figure it out why it's not a great idea, not the asshole. Every time she is in the shower, turn on the other one so she gets cold water. Not the asshole. From now on, whenever you hear one of the roommates who feels this way go into the shower, start turning on your shower for a bit while they're in there, so their water turns ice cold. Just keep doing it to them over and over until it personally affects them, and they see how crappy it is. Not the asshole, because there is a real problem when 2 showers are going at the same time. You've explained it, and have a system in place to deal with it. It may be that she doesn't mind because she's never experienced being the first shower and losing hot water when a second shower is turned on. I can only suggest that you provide her with that experience once or twice. Then have a house meeting and go over ground rules together and see if all agree on then, want to add any, remove any, and vote. Majority rules. That's better than saying you set the rules because your parents own the place. It will feel like she gets an equal say. Which is fair. Not the asshole. Why don't you just turn off the shower and turn it on again? Then you get the hot water and she gets the cold. How come you didn't turn your shower off and then back on again? Am I the asshole for faking my orientation so my mom would let me read what I want? I, 16 male, had to do reasonably well on an English proficiency test to get into law school. That's why I intend to read as many English books as I can over the next 2 years, in order to improve my vocabulary and prepare myself. I've already finished reading Rick Riordan's novels and Harry Potter books. Agatha Christie's and Conan Doyle's mysteries are great, but after reading through over 20 of them I chose to turn to a different genre. Romance. When my mom found out I started reading Bridgerton, she became upset. She said I shouldn't read those books, since they would give me the wrong idea about how to treat women. I told her she worries too much. I have no daddy issues and zero controlling tendencies. Zero anger management problems. I'm far from perfect, but I'm not going to try to control anyone. My issues are procrastination and indecisiveness. But she was still against me reading them. So I muttered, it doesn't matter. I'm not even interested in girls anyway. Didn't outright say that I'm gay, but that was the implication and she got it. Which is untrue. I'm not gay, but she believes I am though, and now allows me to read the books. I still feel kind of bad about it though. My sister, 19, immediately saw through it and said I shouldn't lie about something so serious. I think lying about something like your orientation instead of talking to your mom about it is like solving a fire with more fire that will blow up in your face. You need to fix this fast before it will lead to a much bigger problem down the line if you'll ever want to introduce your future girlfriend to the family. Worst case scenario, your mom will probably upset with you lying and you won't be able to read your book. But right now your mom is probably thinking about your future with your future boyfriend and how your life will work with these circumstances. This isn't a petty lie. This can have big consequences if you don't clear this up fast. Soft, you are the asshole. Everyone sucks here, but reading smutty fanfic-style romance writing to become proficient in English is like playing Mario Kart to study for a driver's exam. Go read Jane Austen or Dorian Gray if you want something gayer. Haha, this is hilarious, I love it. I don't know anything about Bridgerton, but I'm gonna say not the asshole because it's just a book and it's kinda funny. You're gonna have to come out as straight one day though, lol. Not the asshole. If it gets her off your back, it's fine in my eyes and good to know she's at least supportive if you're not straight. And you didn't ask for that, but highly recommend reading anything by Trudy Canavan, especially The Magician's Guild. Also, if your mum is truly worried, she should recommend you some feminist fantasy novels. I'm sure there are plenty. I read an romance book like this. Maddox tells his girlfriend he is gay to break up with her and then moves to NY for college. 5 years later he bumps into her and she invites him to her wedding, so he brings his fake boyfriend and a big fat bi-awakening ensues. Fake out Eden Finley. Not the asshole. But in honesty, you could choose better literature. Still, it's a small thing. Read Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice perhaps, to counterbalance. Grin. Am I the asshole for refusing to clean out my grandpa's house 25 years post-death? Am I the asshole for refusing to clean out my dead grandpa's house? Here's the story. My grandpa died when I was 15 years old. I am now 40 years old. My grandpa left his house to my aunt. His house is more of a permanent trailer in a retirement community. My aunt has never been married, never had a serious boyfriend, and has no kids. She is very sentimental. She has always made excuses as to why she won't clean out or sell his house. Her excuses have been too busy at work, too busy hanging out with friends, and she hasn't figured out what she wants to do with it. In the last 25 years, she has let the house rot. She's never slept in it, doesn't keep it up, but does pay the taxes and wah. About 15 years ago, I offered over and over again to help her clean it out or fix it up. I didn't want money for it, just wanted to help her so that she could use the place. I am independently successful, so I don't want the money from the house. My aunt always refused to have me help her with the house. My husband even offered to, she said no. Since the house has been abandoned for so long, she mentioned to me about 5 years ago that animals have gotten into the house and there's animal poop throughout the home. She has done nothing to clean it up, and now there's years and years of animal feces and maybe even dead animals inside. Fast forward to 2025. My mom passed away and I spent a grueling 3 weeks cleaning out my mom's house. It was rough. I have 3 kids and had to leave my family to clean out my mom's house. I told my aunt that I can clean out her house when she passes, but asked her to please take care of my grandpa's house herself. He's been dead for 25 years and I feel like it's unfair to have me clean that out too. Especially to have to clean out both her home and my grandpa's house while juggling my own family of 5. My aunt told me, "Oh, don't worry about that. It will be so easy for you and you probably will only have to move out a mattress or 2. This is false, as his house is full of his possessions. It also upset me that she seems to have always expected me to do the work. I did love my grandpa. But his house literally is a hazmat situation with the animal feces, broken pipes, non-functional AC and more. She hung up on me when I told her the house would require hazmat suits to clean it out. A week later, I texted my aunt and told her that it is her responsibility to take care of her father's house and not mine. That was 5 months ago and she has not replied to me. She normally texts me every week. I've been ghosted. My concern is near Thanksgiving and Christmas she is going to show up to my house and pretend everything is fine. What do I do? This aunt has been very controlling and manipulative my entire life. This is the only time I've ever stood up to her. Part of me just wants her out of my life forever. And part of me says it's family and I should just suck it up. Not the asshole. After being abandoned for 25 years, I can't believe there'd be anything salvageable in it. Basically I would think you'd have to do the equivalent of putting the whole thing in a dumpster. 25 years for an abandoned trailer? There really is nothing for you to clean out. When she dies, if you inherit the house, just get a wrecking crew to remove it and do with the land as you please, and if someone else inherits it, well, then it's their problem. Why does anyone in your family need to clean it out? Sell it as is if it gets left to you, otherwise not your problem. I hate it when people do what your aunt has done. What a waste. Just wash your hands of the entire house situation. Pretend that doesn't exist even after your aunt passes. Hopefully she doesn't leave it to you. If she does for some reason, IDK if you can refuse it. If not, just sell it for whatever you can get since you don't need the money. If your aunt shows up to Thanksgiving, be the bigger person and let her stay, but let her know that you aren't talking about grandpa's house, and if she wants to she can leave. Oh yeah, obviously not the asshole. Not the asshole. But how on earth has an HOA not sent fines or tried to seize the property? HOAs are so uptight about property values and appearances, it's incredibly difficult to believe this is real. A rotting house with animal activity? No way. They just accept fees and stay silent over it. Absolutely not the asshole. By not dealing with her father's house in even a relatively timely manner, less than 5 years, she's turned it into a money pit. She's been paying taxes and WA for 25 years, and she'll have to pay to have it demolished, removed, or thoroughly cleaned by a trained hazmat crew. You offered time and again to help deal with it, which was kind as it really wasn't yours to deal with, and she refused, letting the problems compound. Only now that she's stuck with a useless, derelict property of her own making does she want you involved. Forget it. Hold the no boundary and she can pound sand. She will try to guilt trip or manipulate you in other ways. Don't fall for it. Best of luck. Am I the asshole for not making soft veggies? I, 68 female, have been married to husband, 73 male, for 20 years. Every time I cook fruits or veggies meals, he won't eat them. Sometimes I don't bother or I cook something I like, then he sits there and says shit like, I can't believe you were eating that. Or, how can you eat that? But looks like, this went on for years. I mostly ignored him. Now he has severe stomach problems and was given a special diet, including soft-boiled veggies. He says to me, I guess you were right, after YRS of hearing his nasty comments about the veggies and fruits I eat. Now, because his health is damaged, he expects me to cook him special veggies. I told him to go visit the microwave section of the store. I'm not cooking that soggy shit for you. Now I'm enjoying the silent treatment. Am I being an asshole? Not the asshole. He was rude for 20 years and clearly doesn't bother to cook for himself. You are not his slave. You are his wife. You can be supportive in other ways. He can feed himself. He needs dietary modifications, not life support. Esh, why have you let yourself live like this for 20 years? It sounds like you hate each other, and now you're moving into the most medically fragile years of your life in a partnership where neither of you wants to care for the other and you're happy when he's not even talking to you. What is the point to this kind of dual misery? Esh, you both sound utterly insufferable and deserve each other. Info: any reason why he can't cook for himself? Or why you stayed through being insulted at every mealtime? You tolerated 20 years of his snide remarks about the foods you like to eat, aside from the fact that those are healthy. Completely understandable that you would snap at some point. Enjoy. Absolutely not the asshole. Esh, you are both utterly insufferable. You're being petty, he's entirely unpleasant. At your ages you should both have matured enough to gain respect for one another.